Good afternoon. It is Tamara Sweeney from Love Dominates. And I just put out another video because I had a very, special Christmas in the sense of giving and what truly matters on this day. Anyway, to all the targeted parents, all the alienated kids, I know how hard this is. I've actually heard some children, I will not reveal who, that have been alienated say that they cannot stand the holidays because they live with the alienator, they live with the abuser, and that child doesn't get love from that person. They're not if that parent doesn't allow that child to celebrate holidays with the ones that the child loves, that is abuse. That is intentional harm put on that child. So my heart breaks for all the kids that never got to experience Christmas like we did. I'll call it the commercial way. Where you wake up, you smell good cooking and the food, opening up the gifts underneath the Christmas tree, the cookies, the beautiful desserts, the beautiful colors and displays of Christmas. But remember, that's commercialized. And I know you all know this, but it's really out of hand these days. I grew up having wonderful Christmases, and it was all about, to a child, it was all about getting and receiving. For a parent, it was always about giving and giving love. But we're still forgetting the overall picture. And I kind of want to do a parallel on history and, what's going on right now in this world. So think about it, which everyone says don't talk about religion, politics, abortion, whatever. But this has everything to do with politics and religion. It is a spiritual warfare, and people don't realize it. It's the evildoers versus the truth tellers, or evil versus goodness, or God versus the devil, however you want to see it. But today, we should be celebrating one thing, and that is the birth of Jesus. We have been indoctrinated with our history, with religion, and with what really matters. People are afraid to go with their gut and their intuition. They're afraid to step out of that box. They're afraid to speak out. Look at, the government has us wearing masks for the fear of COVID. More people die of divorce, parental alienation, hate crimes, and this is a pandemic, a virus. I mean, I don't want to get down that whole rabbit hole, but really, before the end of the year and coming into the new year, look at yourself, do a reflection about yourself and what really matters. The history that we were taught is not necessarily true. Things have been, things disappear. Pages torn out of, old recorded history. So we have to do our own due diligence. We have to do our own research to be able to find out the truth, to be able to weed through the lies, to weed through all the manipulations, the control by our government. Do you want to live in the matrix? Or do you want to go out, step outside of that box and live your own life, your own freedoms. So today, it's another hard holiday for not only the targeted parents, grandparents, and children. This is another year gone by that we have not been with our loved ones. And God up above didn't have that in his plans. We're all supposed to be together. We're all supposed to be one family. We're all supposed to be united. Yet, people sit around and watch their TV and believe everything that's told to us on the news. They are fooled by people we give credibility to, like our judges, our lawyers, people of higher professions that we're supposed to give credibility to. Watch out, because they're the criminals. And I always used to say, and I still say this, there is nobody above you, nobody below you. Everyone should be an equal. I have one exception to that rule. I do. And that is the people that are below me are people that are evildoers, meaning they intentionally cause pain for others. They intentionally target people to destroy them. That, to me, is evil and is wrong. So yes, those people can grovel below me because I'm not going to let it bother me. They can target me all they want. They can take my children. They can take my house. They can take all my money. I don't care. You know why? Because I have given my life up to one person, and that is God. And God has opened up phenomenal doors for me. It's been a rough path. It hasn't been easy. I've been kicked down to the curb. Think about today. Today is the birth of Jesus. What did he go through? He was rejected as a human. He was demoralized. He was beaten, physically beaten. And he was a picture of love. So again, the 7 deadly sins is what people run their life around: greed, around money, around envy, jealousy, instead of embracing one another and loving one another and learning from someone. I don't understand the jealousy thing. I am like a sponge. I want to better myself from someone who's better than me. So I want to learn from that person. I want to absorb as much knowledge as I can and understand it and then apply it into my life. So there's a couple quotes that I came across, and this was really weird because this video popped up and I watched it. Actually, I can't even give credibility to it because I'm not sure who made the video, so I apologize ahead of time. But they talk about things parallel to our past history and what actually goes on with us in this universe. So I'm trying to think where I want to start. Okay, I want to start here. I want to start here. I wrote this down, so I apologize. Okay, today is about the birth of Jesus. Some people may call him a king, the Lord, the Savior, or some people don't believe. Some people just say it's some famous historical figure that doesn't exist. What's so fascinating about the birth of Jesus is that he wasn't born into royalty, a palace with servants. He was born in a stable. You know, by human standards, it's filthy. You know, he wasn't in a hospital. He didn't have, wasn't, cleansing his hands or anything. So to the human standards, this was unacceptable. And then his mother claims to be a virgin. Okay, can you imagine us, like the targeted parent, giving birth to a child and then saying you're a virgin? In this day and age, you'd be sent to a mental home saying you're bipolar and need to be locked up behind, behind four walls. So, I apologize for the noise there. That was my computer. Yet, all this was recorded. This is history that has been recorded in the Bible. The prophet Isaiah wrote that such an event would take place. And let's see. He wrote, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." Emmanuel means God with us. So this was 700 years before Jesus was born. So the prophet Isaiah had his predictions, I guess. For he grew up before him like a young plant and like a root out of the dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised. He was rejected by man. A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and as one from whom men hide their faces, he has despised, and we esteemed him not. So I go back and forth with this, with what parental alienation is about, what the targeted parent goes through. We kind of gone through the same steps. If you continue the passage, there's 12 verses. It comes to a final statement. And that statement is, and I got this all out of this video. It was like a short video. But that statement was, "Therefore, I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he poured out his soul to death and was numbered with the transgressors, yet he bore the sin of many and makes intercession for the transgressors." Again, that was Isaiah. Jesus was rejected by the people, and his death was pardoned, and his death will pardon his sins. The mission of Jesus through his death in the cross. And then in the book of Daniel, he states, "His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed." So Jesus has authority. And this is where I compare it to what we go through in our own system, in our family court systems. Our judges, our lawyers, our government has been taking everything from us. It's the elite, the corporations. Look at it. They took everything that says the name God out of it. "In God We Trust" used to be on money. They took God out of the schools. They took religion out of the schools. This is spiritual warfare. This is the devil running the earth. So, and here's Isaiah again. I'm sorry, because I don't know these messages, so I had to write them down. But he also writes, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. So I'm taking that as the Prince of Peace. We are going to have peace. We just have to get through this horrific time of parental alienation. This happened to you for a reason. You need to live your own journey. But learn as you go on. Learn the steps that you're taking. Understand these lessons and experiences. And when you're alone, like I said in one of my memes today, the only time you can really, really be tested and figure out your journey is when you're completely alone, because you have nobody else but God. So I gave my heart to God, and I'm just rolling with the punches. I just keep going. And actually, money does not run my life. I have not worked. I have not taken money from anyone. And somehow I can still survive. I still survive. Because we are not living the way that God intended us to live. We have our own freedoms. We have our own amendments. We have the Constitution. We have the freedom of speech. It all comes down to the goodness in our heart, the love we have for one another. Love thy neighbor, love one another, honor thy father and mother. All of this is what life is about. So I know this is long. I didn't mean to expand so much, but I pray you guys can get on your own journey, get on your own path. It's tough. It's difficult to be without our kids. I know deep down my children know how much I love them. I mean, heck, I have the whole nonprofit of Love Dominates explaining the behaviors of living with a narcissistic personality. Now, our own children have to break free of that control, of that negativity, of that environment. And hopefully one day they'll be strong enough to be able to do that. All right, like I said, it's long enough. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and good things are coming your way. Trust. Trust in yourself, trust in God, and you will be rewarded. All right, love, love to everyone. Love all you guys. Big hugs, and hope to see you, on this side. All right. Love all. Choose love over hate and compassion over judgment. Merry Christmas.